Hey there, Bible buddies. I've got another Bible review for you today. But before we get into it, I just want to offer my sincerest apologies to you guys for having stepped away for quite a while. Like anyone else, life happens. I had some stuff going on without getting into it too much. I like to, keep my personal life personal. So I had some stuff going on, nothing serious whatsoever. Just certainly time was fleeting for the last couple months for me. I didn't have enough to stretch out to be able to do my Bible reviews. So hopefully that will change because everything that I had kind of outstanding got taken care of. And so now I can hopefully get back into a normal routine of doing these Bible reviews and getting them edited and uploaded for you guys to enjoy. So I figured since I was coming back from such a long hiatus, I would come back with something rather strong and unique and extraordinary and unordinary. And certainly this is a great addition to do that with. So let's get into it. This is I don't even know how to explain it. This is one that I found on eBay, and it was, the guy had it like super aggressively priced. I think I paid not anywhere near what I would imagine it would be worth. This is the first one I've ever seen of it, and it's certainly very unique. And actually, at first, I thought it was a rebind, but I don't think that that's the case. And I guess I'll kind of get into it as we go over the kind of certain details of the Bible. But it does appear that this is a factory-produced Bible. And I guess let's just get into it. Again, an eBay find and something really rather spectacular and different. So the outside appears to be an orange goat skin. From what I can tell, it's not labeled anywhere, but it does appear to be an orange goat skin. And given just the grain of it and kind of everything else, you'll kind of get a better picture of it as a whole as we go through it. As to why I would think that this is a goat skin, but it does appear to be an orange goat skin. You can see a nice little perimeter line there on the edge. It does have this wonderful embossing. I love that font. I'm a big fan of Gothic font styles, and I love the little crown accent there. It's wonderful. It's a great design, nice clean design for a cover. I know sometimes people can get a little weird, especially with like synthetic covers. They get a little crazy with the cover designs. I think this is a very nice kind of highbrow option for a kind of a special edition sort of imprinting there on the cover, and I very much like that little crown. Very nice, kind of pebbled grain there on the goat skin. Take a look at the spine, and we have Holy Bible imprinted there, and then nothing on the bottom. It's clean, but we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of rib indications there, and the perimeter line continues. We also have on the back the perimeter line as well, and then we have a little hint as to what it is. At the very bottom there, it's stamped, and it does appear to be a blind stamping or dry stamping. And it says ROA with a little crown. Let me see if I can get you guys in there. Good enough to be able to see it. Maybe reflect the light off of there or something. Yeah, but it says ROA, and we'll get into what that means here in a second. But now as far as the other exterior details go, it does have these very unique white and blue head and tail bands. And they almost remind me of like old school PJs, like old school pajamas. Those kind of pale blue and white striped pajamas that you see guys in like the 1950s wearing. I don't know. It's just a kind of a cute little headband to see there. This is a very colorful Bible. When we get into it, you're going to see it's a very colorful Bible. So if colors are your thing, then awesome. Typically, I am what I call it a BBO, a Black Bible onlyist. So my preferred color is black. But when this one came up on eBay, it was such a unique find. And again, I've never seen anything like this. As far as I can tell, it's a factory produced item, and it just I had to snatch it up. So something different, but I'm okay with that. As far as the ribbons go, we have 4 of them, and there's a pink, kind of a cyan, or like I guess a magenta, a cyan, an orange, and a yellow. And they're not really like satin ribbons or anything like that. It's just kind of a fabric, like a woven fabric. They don't have like a kind of like a slick, shiny side, or that's kind of satin finish on them whatsoever. It's more of a rougher ribbon and a little thicker, albeit kind of narrow ribbon. You can see it does have the gold page edges there, the gilding. I don't think it's an actual gold. It's just, kind of the normal stuff they use nowadays. I think this is a fairly new production Bible, so it's not going to be real gold. You can see a little bit of probably an uneven lay there on the gilting, but that's okay. Again, this is so unique that I'm okay with a couple little flaws here and there. All right, let's get into it. Now, this is super weird. Look at this liner. Is this just not the loudest liner you guys have ever seen? It almost reminds me of like a Louis Vuitton bag or something like that. It's got that little repeating diamond pattern there. Very unique, very colorful. It has all those same colors kind of represented. You got the gray, the orange, the blue, the yellow, kind of that magenta, some red. So it's got a good mix of everything. And down here you can see the UPC there. It says HC 104 Hip Chick Orange leather. Holy. And then it has the price of $87.50. I didn't even pay half, maybe a little bit more than half that. It was very inexpensive whoever was selling this. But even at $87.50, this would have been a good deal. just given kind of the build construction and where I think it came from. So certainly, I'm assuming that would have been the price new. It says min 1 and then 249. I'm not sure what this is representative of either. On the back, more of the same. And then somebody here took a label maker and labeled it Hip Chick Orange 8750. I don't know why they would have felt the need to label it twice. And this certainly does not look like something that would have come from the factory. So I'm not sure if the previous owner or someone had kind of labeled it there for whatever reason. I'll show you guys the corner work. It is very minimal. You can barely even see it. They just kind of look like press corners there. It's really nothing to write home about or speak of. So yeah, I think that's everything, right? Exterior features. Sorry, it's been a while, so I have to kind of catch up and get back into my mojo. But I think that's it for exterior features. But certainly very nice design. Very nice, vibrant color orange. Kind of reminds me of Humble Lamb's new Fox Orange, I think they call it. So just a nice, vibrant orange here. Let's go ahead and get into the text. So as far as I can tell, we'll get into it when we get to the title page. It'll make more sense. Oh, look at that. Bright yellow. Oh, that first page is so bright and yellow. Goodness, if you wanted to put a dedication here, it would certainly stand out. You have the end sheet there, and then a couple of sheets of cardstock here. 3 of them, and then you have a presentation page there, nice and clean. Certainly kind of a deviation from the other the other design elements. It would have been neat to have seen some of this kind of stuff repeated here. Maybe a little overdone because it's quite loud on the outside. All right, here we have the title page, and we have the Holy Bible, right? Old and New Testaments in the King James Version. And then we have Rock of Ages. So it says the 19, oh goodness, I'm sorry, it's so small, 2000, I have it marked on my little cheat sheet there. It's a 2007 Rock of Ages Press Bible. So that's what the ROA stands for. I'm assuming Rock of Ages. I've looked them up and they have a website, but the website I think is defunct. It doesn't work anymore. And believe it or not, I just saw a black version of this Bible on sale on eBay like 2 days ago. It sold. And it sold for just a couple bucks. So I guess they're out there to some extent. I don't know how kind of prolific the company was. This is certainly the first one that I've ever heard of, with the exception of the Rock of Ages Study Bible. And I'm not sure if there's a correlation there between the two companies, or if there's any kind of relationship there. But here we have the copyright page. You can see some of the information there about it. Okay, and then so here's kind of the giveaway, and this is why I say this Bible's worth it if you can find one. But it does say the image of the KJV Concord Reference Edition is the property of Cambridge University Press and is reproduced by permission. And it does say printed in Belarus. So I know that Print Corp is in Belarus, and Print Corp is a company that Cambridge uses to print some of their editions of their kind of like lower end Bibles. I shouldn't say lower end, like entry level Bibles. So I would imagine that this Rock of Ages contracted out essentially, the Cambridge Concord Reference Edition from Cambridge. Rock of Ages contracted Cambridge to print this edition, and then they just picked it up from Belarus, and Belarus printed a Print Corp in Belarus. So I'm guessing that's what it was. So essentially, you have a Cambridge quality Bible here, just by some kind of off-brand essentially. But it's neat to kind of see that some companies are still kind of doing that on the DL, a custom-made Bible for a company. So here you have the table of contents, and there's no page number indicated. Well, I guess there is there, the Roman numerals there, and then you just have the Bible now. So the way this works, and I thought it was labeled, I guess it's not. So I had to look this one up, not on their website, but I had to compare it to some Bibles that are on Cambridge's website. And the way that this looks, this apparently looks to be the Concord personal size Concord. It seems to be that same size and measurements and everything. And I will do a comparison here at the end of the video with a normal size Concord, and the pagination does match up as well. So it's almost like a shrunken down Concord. It's even just a hair smaller than a Cameo, so we'll take a look at that also. But it's essentially just a shrunken down Concord. So it still has all of those features from the Concord that you would normally find. Concord is very full of features. So this is also a very feature-rich Bible. So let's go ahead and get moving here. I'm sure I'm going to ramble for these first couple videos. Apologies until I get back in the swing of things. So we have the guide to pronunciation marks there, and a note on the Cambridge boldface, the bold figure references. Then you have your epistle dedicatory on the opposite page. Kind of standard fare for Cambridge, and certainly, if you're used to the Concord, you're going to be very familiar with all of this. You have your translators to the readers, and it does seem to be the full translator to the readers. Translators to the reader. And after that, we have the table of contents for the actual biblical books. And then we have the first book of Moses called Genesis. So let's go ahead and take a look at this text. And you can see that there is a little bit of show through, but the text is nice and dark. It's fairly bold. It's a very nice kind of old school feeling text. It looks kind of like that hot letter press text, kind of the old style of, using like the wood blocks or that sort of thing, a more older style printing approach instead of like a kind of a modern digital font. So we'll turn a couple pages in here and get a good feel for it. And we can see right in the top exterior corners, you have the book and the chapter number, and then you have your running headers up at the top, and then you have your center column references, and then you just have your chapter indicators there. There's no drop cap. Well, sorry, there is a drop cap, a double line drop cap, along with your chapter indicators. There's no, subjects, I guess, subject headers in the text. It's just at the top of the page in the gutter there. And then you have your page numbers in the bottom center. So again, kind of standard fare if you're used to the Concord. So we'll thumb through it a little bit. But again, it's very kind of standard Concord, and really the most unique aspect of it is the exterior cover portion of it. So we'll kind of chunk through it and then get to a comparison with the other Cambridge editions. Now here we have, let me go to the beginning of Matthew. We'll look, obviously it's a black letter text, so we don't see any red letters peeking out there. So we have Malachi and then the end of the Old Testament and the New Testament. Title page right there. And we have the Gospel according to Matthew. And again, it's a black letter text. Let's flip to the end here. We'll take a look at all these features. There's quite a bit. The Concord is kind of known for its concordance. Funny enough, right? Concord, concordance. Kind of works out that way. So you have your, the end of Revelation. Oh, that's the end of Revelation. Then you have your short glossary of biblical usage. And I'll zoom in there for you guys to take a peek. Take a gander. Yeah. All those goodies. Now we'll kind of skip through that glossary. And then a couple of pages after the glossary, or a couple of pages of glossary, you get to the concordance of the Old and New Testaments. And this is quite a chunky concordance, so we'll kind of thumb through it there. Oh, that's the Bible dictionary. See, it's got a lot of features, man. They all blend together. All right, and that is your concordance. A pretty good size. All right, and let me zoom in here so you guys can see a couple entries there. So the concordance is definitely the strong suit of this edition. Then you have your concise Bible dictionary. And after that, ooh, it's still going. Not very concise, pretty chunky actually. So after that we have, to keep going and going and going because it's full of tools and helps and aids. So we have it looks like books of the Bible here. And these appear to be little summaries of different books of the Bible. And we have a little chart for the harmony of the Gospels. And some more just kind of standard helps there. Quite a bit. One of these days, I've said it a couple times in these videos before. I guess if you guys want, you can chime in down below and let me know if you're interested in it. But I thought about actually just flipping through the helps sections of some of these Bibles, just so you guys can actually see what's in here. I kind of do a quick breeze through here because I don't want to spend 40 minutes going through it. But if you guys are interested in that, just comment down below, or if you have a couple that you want to see, I'll be more than happy to pick out some specific editions, assuming I still have them. Cambridge Bible Maps and Gazetteer, my favorite word. I'm so happy to be back in Bible review so I can hear that word, Gazetteer. And there we go, Cambridge Bible Maps. I said it so breathy, didn't I? Gazetteer. Oh. Okay, there we have the maps, and these are definitely old school Cambridge maps, back a couple decades, old school, but they still look nice. Cambridge has always had tops on maps, so definitely some very nice maps. And there's your Gazetteer. Some little information there and what's in the maps. And that's it. It wraps up after the Gazetteer. You have 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, we'll say 5. Maybe 4. I can't tell. This page is very thick. Got 4 very thick sheets of cardstock at the end there, and then you have your very bright yellow end sheet as well. And that's it. So again, just a very nice edition. I love this. It's something super unique. I've never seen anything like this. If any of you guys have, certainly chime in, because it's kind of a neat find. And I'm curious if they made like the other colorways like this. That'd been kind of a cool idea. Let me go ahead and get you some measurements. So as far as height goes, it's just over 7 inches, like 16th of an inch, 32nd of an inch, I don't know. And then it is just under 5 inches wide. And thickness goes just over 1.5 inches. So definitely a portable size. You can see here, if I can get in frame, you can see here it's just slightly smaller than my hand. I have large size hands. So certainly very portable if you were going to put it in a purse or carry it in your backpack or something like that. Very easy addition to tote around. Let's get a size of the fonts here, some font sizes. I'll start with the capitals. Now, again, obviously, once you start getting this small, and the personal size Concord does have very small font, you're gonna have small fonts. It's the nature of the beast. So let's go down here. We're gonna do the H enhanced. Ooh, and already we're down to like 7.5. It looks to be about a 7.5 point font in comparison to Times New Roman for the uppercase. And then we'll do the M here and remember. And that looks to be about a little bit bigger. Maybe about an 8.5 point font, or an 8. Let's say an 8, about an 8 point font versus Times New Roman for the lowercase. So figure about an 8 point font all the way around for the text. So assuming that you're comfortable reading smaller fonts, for me, 8 point is like right on the cusp there. Anything smaller, like the Pit Minion, is getting a little hard for me to read. But for me, anything under 8 point font is a little hard to read. So just be aware that if you're going to pick up a personal size Concord, you're going to have to contend with a smaller font. And again, this is a personal size Concord. So if you want to go to Cambridge and purchase a brand new personal size Concord, you still can. They still produce them. They don't look like this. It's just kind of Cambridge's standard black. All right, let's get into the comparisons. I think that's everything, right? Yeah. If not, I'll catch it in post, and then I'll kick myself and I'll say you have to re-record it. And I'll say no, I'm not going to do that. So here is the Cambridge Cameo, right? So Cambridge Cameo is a pretty small size. Remember, the Cambridge Cameo has the same footprint as the Pit Minion. It's just a little bit thicker. So we can see here that this personal size Concord is even smaller than this Cameo. So there you go. You can see the difference there. It's just a little bit, but I guess if you're really looking for the most portable edition, it might be a toss-up, because it's slightly thicker. The personal size Concord slightly thicker than the Cameo. But, footprint size is a little smaller. Now we'll take a look at the text too. Now the pagination does not match the Cameo versus this personal size Concord. Because again, it's going to match the Concord pagination, but I'll show you that. Now, one thing that is interesting to note, right? Again, they use this kind of old style of print, and it is pretty consistent between the two. So it kind of has more of a Cambridge Cameo style, kind of old font look. As opposed to, you'll see when we get into the Concord, the new Concord kind of has an updated digital font, so it's a little easier to read, maybe-ish, depending on what kind of fonts you like. But this certainly has, the personal size Concord has the older Concord type setting, so it's kind of that, like I said, well, let me get you close up here so you can see, kind of like that, just older font. So you can see like some little blobs and things like that were maybe transferred over. So to me, this has more personality, and it's much thicker and bolder, so if you like reading bolder fonts, this would be the way to go. And then we'll take a look, since we're here, at the paper also. The paper is, decent. Belarus doesn't have like the absolute best paper. I was going to say greatest, and then I can kind of combine it there with best. The Grest paper. The Grestest, the most Grestest of papers. You can see that there is a little bit of show through there, but it's really just in the, in the areas like this that are blank. And this is old school KJV, so it's not going to have any kind of poetic formatting. So you're going to have this sort of same kind of nice full columns of text. So you're not going to see it too much here. Obviously it's not as good as India paper, but it's no slouch. So decent paper, not going to be as good as Cambridge's kind of fancier editions there of the the Concord or the Cameo. But all right, let's take a look at the Concord. So we'll see right out the gate that the Concord. Look at this. It's a huge size difference. Massive size difference. So certainly, if you think that the Concord, I think that the Concord's pretty portable, but I like bigger Bibles. But if you think the Concord's a little too big, you might want to go with this personal size Concord. But we'll take a look there. Yeah, quite a difference, right? Really different there in size. Now, one thing that's interesting to me is the thickness, right? So here's the question that I have, right? If this is a scaled down version of the Concord, and it has supposedly the same helps and all that kind of stuff, and it's on less thick paper, how is it thicker than the Concord? that I don't know. So I'm wondering if it maybe has more helps, or maybe if the paper is slightly thicker, albeit less dense, so there's a little more show through. It could be one of those. I didn't like tear through all of the features on the Concord, but I'm assuming they have the same features. This might have a little bit more, hence the thicker size, but there is definitely a thickness difference there. Now, I wanted to show you the grain in the leather. That was one thing that kind of gave it away. You can see this nice pebbly, I hope the camera can show it, but this does have a nice pebbly grain, and it does match this goatskin cover. So I'm thinking that this is a goatskin cover, just, you know, it's paste down and not edge lined like the full-size Concord there. But certainly has very similar feel. And you know, I'm not big on spelling Bibles. Plus, this is a old, very old, not a very old Bible, but an older Bible, so it probably smells like storage unit. I don't know. But yeah, as far as the feel goes, definitely very similar. As far as exterior, now as far as floppiness though, you're going to get a little bit of difference because this is an edge lined with a synthetic liner, and this is a paste down, so it's stiffer in that regard. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the text. Open it up. And actually, I will try and open it up here to the same page. So we got 723 on this page. On this Bible. Y'all, I'm going to be misspeaking throughout the whole thing. Apologies in advance. Have some grace on your Bible reviewer, on your friendly neighborhood Bible reviewer. All right, so here's page 73, 723. I butchered that on both Bibles. And you can see that both Bibles have it in Isaiah 35 and 36. Now, you will see that difference that I was talking about. Obviously, the text here is larger than the personal size Concord because it's a larger Bible. But let's take a look closely at the text here, and you can see the difference in the text styles. So the one on the right is the kind of the newer Concord, and it has that more digital. It has like a digital style font is what it's called. So you can see that it's very cleanly printed, right? And it looks like something that you would have printed off like your paper at home. All right, Times New Roman, 10-point, double spaced essay, English essay. You know, and so it looks very modern, very clean. Whereas this, even though the pagination is the same, the reference is the same, all that stuff, it uses that older style text. So it's bolder, but it's a little more kind of blobby and a little more, I don't know, kind of old school. It's endearing if you like that sort of style. Definitely this is going to be, I feel like this would be easier to read only because it's more modern and there's less, I don't know, I say blobbiness, but yeah, blobbiness kind of to the letters, which can kind of throw your eyes off a little bit. So, but again, it's just going to be personal preference. If you like an older style, here you go. If you like a newer style, here you go. But again, pagination is the same. I'm assuming features are the same. If they're not, if anybody knows better, please correct me down below. Super appreciate that. But yeah, otherwise, I don't want to ramble on too long. This video is probably already long enough. I can't even tell because I can barely see my screen. Yeah, but Bible buddies, definitely thank you for sticking around, for not bailing on me, despite me taking a break. Again, it wasn't anything serious. It was just, you know, life happens, that kind of stuff. I was super excited to pick this one up on eBay. And I was, you know, super excited to share it with you guys. And I figured it would be a good surprise for you guys who have been patient and waited with me. You get to see something a little bit different than I don't know, Black Collins Bible. Although, don't get me wrong, I'll be getting back into Collins Bibles very soon here. So there's that. Bible buddies, until next time. Bye.